Sorry, go on up, man. Wait.
Can you tell us what did you do years ago? You know, you're about
Years ago.
gigging or
Well,
begging or
we
whatever.
should win houses. Say, God bless and save you, man. How are you? Would you have a small little bacon again, please?
Was it only bacon, like you wouldn't get anything with that?
No. Would you would? Yeah. Little granny sugar then. And little French tea. And little regular flour, please, man. See? And a little drop in a milk.
Would you go in pairs or in singles?
No, we went singles. In my company that time. I said, when I used to be travelling out, I used to go up near myself. And I used to say, so they're long, mate, sorry, man. And God bless you, will you give me a little water?
You should say go for a piece of chocolate as well.
Yeah. And I used to say, for the fellas I had wasn't gavers. You know? And I said, God bless and save you, know, man, I'm going out of this house now and going to another house.
The same thing.
The same thing, along. Little granny sugar, little granny tea.
How many had you waiting at home like for this bit of food?
How
many had you waiting at home for this bit of food?
Well, I had them salad.
Yeah.
And I had marmalade.
Yeah.
And bread.
Well, how many family aunties? About 8?
About 8. And I used to be go to the company and I used to say, God bless and save you, anyways. Have you any old skirting? You give me an old pair of shoes or anything like that.
Are you getting in touch for the clothes as well?
Yeah. And they said, then you get here, you're a great home for the country. Will you? Well, doesn't. Or Paddy.
Well, how would you make cover? How would you use the cover?
Well, we'd have a cover, like it was wild and nice. We'd put the sticks on the side, or kick down the cover. And that's the reality of the painting then.
Yeah, but he'd be making them. Where would you get the old cover for that? Would you have to go to the docks for an old cover or calico or what?
Well, we used to buy it in Galway, you know,
Half an hour lorry or...
after a lorry, buy it in Galway. You know?
And your camper ground, would you? The farmers ever go and give out
No.
the guards ever...
No, never.
They never came out and started to say,
No.
you can't stay here.
No, they never did.
Did you camp anywhere else in the country at all?
Well, we used to camp in all sides of the county. We used to camp over in Hillis and Dunmore Road there, Hillis, from a day like. And we used to camp in a place called Old Grants.
Old Grants.
That's a bar where I was living the first time.
And the people in every place you used to go to, really, they were nice.
They were all very nice to us.
No. Well, how did you make these...
They were making all little buckets and pennies, I think.
Yeah. Would you be involved in the selling of them or would it be just...
Well, I used to go with the little horse and care, and I used to sell a couple of buckets. I had been making them. And sell them.
Sell them all the time?
Sell them all the time.
Well, how would you get for them? Would you be looking for money or what?
Well, I'd get a few bob for them. And then one that had wanted a bucket, say, I'll give you such a thing for the bucket. I'll give it to you. You know?
Yeah. But money was kind of hard to come by.
Was.
If you couldn't get money off them
No.
now, you were tied to a farmer. How
Yes,
would
I
you
know.
look at that?
Well, they say, sir, man, I bought your big, God bless you. Well, if you haven't the money, well, you can give us a lot in your spoons, or little grain of flour, or grain of sugar, or anything like that. If you haven't the money, or a bit in the maid, or a bit of maid, things like that, you know? You won't know you get practice.
Listen to me, button bags. Button bags. Who was the strategy for the bag? Who was the first one when you said you seen wearing the button bag? How would you put into it? Would it be all the way, not the bag with all the buttons in it?
Oh, I know what you do, yeah. Well, when we get the money, we put it on the pocket. We don't call it the pocket. Button bag either call it.
Yeah. Well, whatever you call it.
I know, the pocket, the side pocket. We put it all down on that. And when we go home then, and we have so much, we'll count it. See how much we got this day. Never what we're going to get next day. You know? Things like that. And they were the good old times.
What was good about them? What's different good about
When
you said
we go out to our neighbours, through the country, you call the country, well, they put down the table, make it a drop of tea for you.
so you'd be coming into this stranger's house? Like?
Yes. And we get a drop of tea in this house. And the next house we're going to then, they say, we want a drop of tea, man, sit down and we'll have a bit of comfort. And do you smoke the fag? No, sorry, I don't smoke no fag.
And women smoke pipes, I think.
Some of them.
And some of them smoke pipes. And would it be the clay pipe that time, or would it be just like the pipe?
The wooden pipe.
The wooden pipe.
The wooden pipe.
I haven't used to smoke their pipe.
And
Clay pipe.
oh, clay pipe.
Yeah, quit that noise.
Curling. I do curling. You didn't want to be in it at all. You didn't want to be in it. If you've been in out of there, don't worry.
Paddy. No. Horses, mares, ponies, foals, whatever. Where would you be taking them? Where would you be minding them? Who would be minding them by? Is there any truth that you put it in the farmer's field late in the evening and take it out early in the morning?
That's one thing you couldn't do. That's one thing the family wouldn't do anyway. Might get away from some, but not for now.
Not for now. Chin splitting, Paddy. Making buckets and that. Who showed you?
I gotta go back to that one. Yeah, I would hunt it out and maybe the person of it. Certainly heard night shots and no. Old stands.
And what about did you have ever anything unusual to make? Like apart from what all the travellers are making nowadays? Or like Edward Warren, yourself, or all the other things. Do you ever have anybody ever ask you for anything unusual to make?
No, down lanterns and dance stair lanterns and things like that. There was nothing else like that. They could make out of things.
You do
there was people that could like that.
Do you do tin splitting all the time?
But they seldom.
And is there none of the boys going to follow you in this town?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they would now.
No patience with it. Easier ways of earning a few bob, I think.
I now couldn't make out of it, don't mind that. Anthony.
How about what do you call it? The few bobs you get out of the saucepans and buckets and churns or whatever.
It would be very, very small.
Would you go as far as the pub, or would you be, you know how all the men would be going as far as the pub for a few pints like, a night out or whatever?
They were during the week.
There was no dole, Paddy.
There was no golden time. You could be walking all day with cans and saucepans and you mightn't even push it.
You mightn't even do some.
Then nothing. You do yourself with only 3 to the piece or so.
And how about the priests in the small towns, the little villages, and the presbyteries are up beside the church?
When you get some of them, they are right more than no time being out of the war.
I've got to go like.
You have to go. You have to go.
The cover for the tin, Paddy. How would you come across that? There wasn't many travellers years ago with good covers like.
I know it's calico you buy.
It was calico you'd buy.
Buy calico.
Well, how would you reinforce it? How would you make it good? Last longer.
You have to tear it and nail it.
Tear it nail. So if you bought it today, it'd be a while before you'd have it up in the what?
I think we could have let it dry out and then you want the canvas pieces inside it. If you didn't make them halfway, you'd make the heat tear.
When you'd be finished now and you'd have your tin set up or whatever, how would you do yourself then? Was it the horse and cart or the bicycle?
There weren't many horses in that time.
Well, what would you have?
Donkey and cart.
Donkey and cart.
I think we went out to country. If they had a bike, but they might have one, no brakes, no nothing. We run away bikes.
Was the donkey, how much was the ass worth that time?
Take him down.
Is that?
How much was the old donkey worth that time? The ass, how much was he worth?
You buy them taped it. Yes, they get them take away. Take away.
Take away.
There's no time for that, you got that. You went over to get it doing that and you wanted them through the country.
Supposing you lost your stake now, Paddy, you know your stake for doing your job, your trade. How would you come across another one?
And then I'd go to a blacksmith.
Would he make it for you like or?
Make it, and all the things like in the blacksmith that had to go to. There was only one blacksmith was Finney now, John McGann. John McGann, he was the only man that would make it. That'd make a good one.
McGann's.
Yeah, that's down there,
Kilkenny. He was the only blacksmith, you'd have to, whatever you were, you'd have to go down the stairs there to get another steak made.
And there were two of them in and out, there was Finney and Ryan. Any of the two of them like that would make steaks for you.
Suffer now. The language, Paddy. Kent. When you remember like from years ago, you can pick up pieces and everything now, but when it's not being taught much, you kind of lose a lot of it. You know what I mean? My son is local, basically. What about your ideas? Like, where do you think it came from?
I shouldn't go back there.
But when you were young, Eddie, like, nearly everybody was talking.
I go on, but that wouldn't be trouble in them. When you get older, then I just get more understanding. You know what I mean?
Do you think is it a sorrowful thing that they can't just go on, or a good thing?
No, but nearly everyone has it now, you know.
But
the farmers are there, the whole lot of it.
Shade used to come. Every shade come and keep in alive.
Supposing you seen a guard coming up the road and you wanted to tell the man beside you, like, and he was looking the other way that the guard was coming, how would you give him the rub about it?
Some of the things you do, there's a glow fly coming, they see that, it's the stand for the guard.
A glow fly coming?
They wouldn't understand me.
The farmer, Paddy, you ever come across any bad old farmer?
They do it.
How would you get over it?
They might get a bit of a net, but they'd have to put up it. But they shipped it. They didn't ship the gas right away.
If you got any old story, Paddy, of an old, we say, an old deal that you might have worked that you came out to Christian or anything like that? No deals at all? Nothing about your man that might be selling an old ass and spurting off long. Go on.
You have to have a pattern to put them out, and then you have to have it straight. It wasn't straight like, couldn't seam it. Straighten it out and then seam it. Put it together. Put the wire on it. Put the bottom and the hook on it. There's nothing to it.
And how
You
about
had to start with a straightening the galvanized.
straightening the galvanizing?
I did have to try, but there was iron sharp wheels then, you know.
The all corrugated stuff to be.
Yeah, that's the only way you could straighten it.
How about pitch, Paddy? This pitch, how would you be using this pitch one?
Years ago they used to use pitch. The stuff was leaking. But now they don't use no pitch.
The fact is, the style of it.
A bit of low spread now and wet it and like you kind of do on inside and up along the same.
The handles. That's a handle from a different kind of bucket now.
Yeah,
Suppose you had to make your own handle, how would you do?
You'd have to make some other wire.
Wire.
Yeah, but that time they get them to do it, but you won't get them now.
How's the bottom attached to the side and that?
Well, you put a leg in it.
Yeah.
Then you lay it down. Put on the stake, then you tip it around, and the next thing you get a hand stake and turn it up. So as it then the tightness. How you doing?
Why would you have the buckets two different sizes, Paddy? How come that one is bigger than the other one there, like?
Well, I didn't make that now. I didn't make anything. Men det är
How about, how would you measure them? Suppose the farmer wanted a 4-quart one. How would you measure them?
det different patterns, you know. You big ones and small ones.
You couldn't...
Big old bucket, you know. You get small ones.
Move it up along. Yeah. Just go there and see if you can get further with that route. Karen, go back there.
Yeah.
Spell it over about the dog now with something on the floor. Zoom in on the dog and then out again.
This dog is with us.
Use it again.
This dog is with us. There was 2 twins.
No,
He's tied up all the time.
Put it to the paddy on. Leave it as it is.
This is a good dog for rabbits.
no fool acting like you know what I mean.
Very good for a din.
Now, it's good for it and you take all badger but then you can kill them and that's it.
How much for this?
What's you, £50?
They're talking around, they're talking
Well,
around.
then you don't have that dog in.
I heard that dog go for that.
Fly is a good dog.
I heard it.
About 16 or 17 months.
16 or 17 months.
That's all he is.
Stop for that.
Well,
I look at him, 16 or 17 months.
Well, if you want to look at his mouth, you can look at him.
16 or 17 months.
That's what he is.
Stop for that.
His teeth is gone a bit black, but I wouldn't pass any head of that.
I'll give you one price on.
What is this?
£5 off.
I'll forget about that, you're short of that.
I know if I look at the dog.
Would you give me £40 from?
I know if I look at
No,
My last price, £10 off.
no.
I know
Will you give me 30 quid and I'll give them to you? No. And he's a good dog. You're looking for a good dog for rabbits and foxes and badgers.
I'll take a chance on the £15 you want it. I won't give you a penny more.
Hey, look in.
Give me 25 from.
£20.
Come on, he's yours.
I know if I look at the dog, good for nothing.
You have known, he's the best in the world.
We'll come back to you again if you didn't go
But that's
down.
no. He's not a bad dog in that flat.
Take a chance on that.
Badgers or foxes or anything like that, that's what he's good for.
16 or 17 months.
That's what he is.
And the dog having a toad in his head.
His teeth is gone a bit black, but I wouldn't pass any head of that. You see an old man with black teeth too, like going and coming, like, you know, man.
I know what you mean.
When you're the age of that dog poo, probably your teeth will be that bad. You have to hold them back in. They'll be always gone. But you have a good dog, you want to hold on to them.
I could be gone again
Bring them
tomorrow.
with a half and station if I was you.
Could be gone again tomorrow.
They'd have great pups.
Great pump. Oh, the dog. No, anything.
Anton, what do you kill money or do you command money?
Oh, good show today now.
That's good, big lad. They do a lot of digging, they do.
Good bit. So I do
You
have
don't
other
have-
boys there with me.
You don't have this man here for digging.
Oh,
so you know.
he's the spade man, this fella.
Yeah,
Up there to the camera and show yourself.
And they do, would you do much digging or anything like that before you get them out?
We do a fair bit of digging now.
And how long would you get digging out, tell me?
It could be an hour.
An hour. And would it be only one in it or would it be two in it or what would it be if it
It
came
could be a
out?
double. It could be a double dig, you know what I mean?
Double din.
Double dig. It could be all there.
And I say when you kill him straight away then when you get him out or what do you do?
Just let the dogs on him for a while.
For a while. And what happened then if that badger or fox put the bolt on the dogs, what would you do? Would you kill him or would you let him go?
We'll let him go.
Let him go. Or would you go looking then, when you get that badger, would you go looking for another one, a fresh one, or would you forget about it at that time?
Might go home at that time. Have to try for different
Well,
stock.
if you had a hound, would you go for a hunt of a hare after taking out the badger?
We might.
Well, how many dogs do you slip at a hare down, if a hare get up in front of you?
About 10.
About 10. So now that is bad. Who should take any hare down?
Not that that's what the dogs we have.
Oh yeah.
The hell,
Vet dogs,
we
one
could
top
let the
of
whole thing out now and give her.
Wouldn't hurt my bullet.
Well, what about this man over here in the corner? What kind of dog have he?
He's supposed to have a good bitch. But yet he won't tell her.
And he wouldn't sell her.
I was giving him 70 quid the other day for the bitch.
And he wouldn't sell her. Come over here and I'll have a chat with you for a minute. Tell me this and how many more. If the hair get up in front of you with your fowler,
No, I wouldn't have.
you wouldn't fowler.
No.
Well, if there were the second dog out and the hair come up to you, would you slip your dog?
No.
Yes, hold up.
Oh, I'd hold up.
Now tell me this. If you were standing at that back gate and it closed, would you stop the hair away from the dogs?
No, I'd let him go.
You let them go through the gate. Well, if there are two dogs close in that here, would you open the gate and let them go through, or would you just leave the gate closed?
I'd let him find his own way.
Yeah, find his own way. Well, if you're going along the field there with another fella and you see a hairline, would you rather put him up yourself or call the boys to let a slip dog in with your own?
No, I'd sooner to put him up myself and let one dog
Yourself?
out.
No. What happened if there were 2 or 3 dogs at the one here? What would you do with after you slipping your dog? Or pick whatever it is?
Well, the way I'd said, I'd go over to the boys and I said, only take a foul.
Yeah, well, they are that. They are that. Well, tell me this, do this man do we do any fouling or do we do anything?
I'm a bit known.
Well, I believe it there.
Everyone does a bit of fouling now.
Yeah. Well, do you like hot soup or do you like the soup or what do you do?
I like dough rabbit. I like dough rabbit.
Dough rabbit. Well, what about... Right. Go.
Go then.
They called me a name, it wasn't mine. From an age long before my time, hung a label on me, a whole identity, to stop me from crossing their line. You're all the same, I see red, and the words go on round in my head. They treat us like dirt, with no feelings to get hurt. But now it is time that we said we're travelers and we're proud to sing it out, to say it loud. But don't treat us all the same. There's a line between you and me. I have to cross it to be free. Listen, I'm trying to explain. They called me a name, it wasn't mine. From an age long before my time, hung a label on me. From crossing the line, we're travelers and we're proud to sing it. They called me a name, it wasn't mine.
Yeah, what? Hold the phone. Deal.
there, leave us in peace, leave us alone. All we want is a place of our own. Travelling family comes to town. It's harder these days to find a piece of ground, to pitch a tent and light a fire. It's all blocked off with rocks and wire. Why don't they leave us in peace, leave us alone? All we want is a place of our own. The welcome is great, the welcome is grand. A guard is standing with his summons in his hand. And waking in the morning, the first thing you see, the neighbours arriving with a jest. They leave us in peace, leave us alone. All we want is a place of our own. A hot summer's day, your throat is dry. You go down to the pub and you wonder why you're not getting served, no sign of a jar. The barman says, you're kind are barred. Why don't they leave us in peace, leave us alone? All we want is a place of our own. It's Saturday night and you rack your hair, all dressed up for a dance somewhere. But the bouncer is big, the bouncer is strong. He makes it clear that we don't belong. Why don't they leave us in peace, leave us alone? All we want is a place of our own. From a travelling clan, I take your scrap away in my van. I'll sell you a carpet, it's not too dear, and in 12 months' time I'll be coming back here. Why don't they leave us in peace, leave us alone? All we want is a place of our own. Why don't they leave us in peace, leave us alone? All we want is a place of our own.
Right back there again. Wait a minute, I don't know what tape. Don't record yet. Let's see what song it is.
Is full of painting. It hurts me when I hear them say that you were born so far above me, and I have thought so little of me. You are not allowed to love me, knowing what I can be to you. I see the pain that's in your eyes whenever someone says the name that echoes all the worn lies and causes me to flush with shame, knowing what I can be to you. When we are alone it seems so easy. The world is far away. What comes later is the price we have to pay. It hurts me for I know it's true that I can never hope to give you all the things you take for granted in your life. What can I do, knowing what you can mean to me? Seems so easy. The world is far away. What comes later is the price we have to pay. Not allowed to love me, knowing what I can be to you. Knowing what I can be to you. Knowing what I can be to you.
Hey. What? I'm moving the video, you move your head away. Anthony, smile. Right, you better cancel that now because you're not having enough money.
birthday today.
I have to get some of the girls to get them a facelift.
The one to be cleaned.
Give them a wipe.
Ja, flashen lite på morgonen.
Yeah.
You pay much for that job now?
I just got the hire of it.
Oh,
Just got the lot of it.
it's a nice big ticket.
There's one they got out in the dump, Betty.
Huh?
One they got out in the dump. Bertie was having one leg and only had the other.
You see Matthew up with them?
Are you turning it into a film or what?
No, it's just more or less keeping it at the library.
Oh, I.
You know, they have to that. It becomes a lot of
I think them are the oldest photographs now that's been shown. The longest travelers. Very, very old photographs. They were taken in the 30s and 40s. Now, this one is my father, who was born in 1880 and died in 1955. He was a chimney sweep, which I am myself at the moment. Now, this would be taken about 1940 some odd. That was myself, the missus, and my two brothers that passed on, the Lord have mercy on them. Over here, we have Eddie Gill, that's Marty, and Mary Ellen, Maggie Thatcher in other words, my sister and myself again. Now we have one over here at the corner. I don't know whether you'll be able to get it or not. It's a very old photograph. He's dead now. He was Edward Ward and Patrick Stokes and their wife. On the top row on the extreme left is my sister and her daughter. The next picture is my brother, who died there 8 or 9 months ago. He was in the Navy in Australia. And this next one is myself presenting to the Mill Museum 2 lanterns. And this is a more recent one, and the last one is my father-in-law, Lord have mercy on him. He was a great man. He was called Paddy the Basket. He was one of the most honestest men, I think, that ever stood Ireland. And of course, this is the younger generation again, the grandchild getting married, and myself here again. And over here is my brother Martin that died in Birmingham some years ago. So they're very... Those are one of the miniature buckets now that we were talking about. Do you know? That. They were miniatures now.
How would the size be?
Well, you see, what they were actually for was to put a flower pot into.
Put a flower pot into?
Aye. And they were generally left beside fireplaces. And of course the lanterns then, I have only one lantern now, if you don't want to see this, suppose, do you?
Have you got it there?
I have, but I haven't hidden on them.
Then met had a disco months after that, laughing and joking like children. And when again the world turned once, and what they said was in no other's hearing.
Well, that's a lantern now, it's not finished.
It's not finished.
It's not, it has a door to go in it, and the caps that you put here. Well, that's for a man out and way out in Hereford. And he's to bring in coloured glass. Well, I have coloured glass in it, but it may not suit him, you see. And he'll bring in his own glass. Now, this is an old one, belonged to the landlady. We made it for her. And this is the door of it, do you see? That's where you put lanterns, as you know yourself. They're Connemara lanterns.
Yeah.
They were made solely for farmers going out at night time when sheep would in. And they'd always have a blessed symbol here. This is the Sacred Heart here. And when they just go around a circle of light, you know, they bring the light around them. And they'd walk all through the mountains. There wouldn't be one bit afraid. So when you come back then, if it was dark, you take out the lantern, take out the candle or this, and shove it down in this chimney here, around in the stables to milk the cow. That's the idea of that. So they were the same kind of buckets that I showed you there a moment ago now.
With the shamrock.
You see. Yeah, the shamrock and the heart. So, they're very nice, you know.
Yeah,
But you get no one to make them now.
no. You're the last one.
Oh, I'm the oldest chimney sweep in Ireland.
Yeah, but you're one of the last real
Tinsmith.
tinsmith in Ireland as well.
I'm the only practicing tinsmith in Ireland at my age, going into 75. So I love to sit down again and start working.
None of your sons are going to follow you.
Oh, no.
You've no grandsons or anything?
No, no one of them. When I go, they go. The trade is gone. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah. We'll have to catch you sometime later.
But I know that's my first love, to go making them. But I don't do much now until the weather takes up, do you see? And I go to the backyard here, and I make them out there. So I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. But that's an old one now. So.
Well, where did you learn it, Edward?
Oh, I learned it from the brothers. You see the gold with John there, yes, you saw there in the picture there, was nearly Ireland's fastest tinsmith.
Ireland's fastest?
Fastest. There was no doubt all about that. And Pat, brother, he was, there was three of us well able to work, four of us. But I was the worst of the four.
You were the worst of the four?
I was the worst of the four. And Pat was the best. John was the fastest. And Martin was very, very good. He was way better than I. But I wouldn't sit down beside them working. I'd only shame them. That is the truth. You see, it's all right to make a few old buckets or anything like that, or full buckets. But when you turn around and get an order, we say, for 12 dozen of tin quart cans with leads and hoops, and have them the exact size. Yeah. And we say 8 dozen of 3 quart cans, or 8 dozen of 5 quart cans, you know.
Well, how old is your patterns then?
Huh?
Your patterns, how old are they?
The patterns? Oh, yeah, I never had a pattern at those. I have what we call a marking stick. And the sheets were coming at, we'll say 12 by 18.
12 by 18?
Aye, the sheets. And you'd buy a box of tin in my day at 18 shillings in old money. and you'd make, well, on average there was 904 sheets in each box, do you see? Well, you turn around and you were able to describe it out there and then if you wanted a 5-quart can, a 3-quart can, like this. That myself and the missus now had been married, going in 49 years. And it won't be too long until we celebrate our golden jubilee. Now we had our ups and downs and back and forwards, and many a time we were hungry, and often was damn glad to eat a potato and a grain of salt, which the youngsters wouldn't eat today. I can assure you that. But sometimes we had it plenty, more times we had it very bad. But it was a great life, the travelling life. Now, I'm in a house for the last 25 years, but remember, I'm a traveller the whole time. A traveller, I was born on the side of the road, in a small bit of straw and a small camp, about 3 foot high and about 4 foot wide and 6 foot long.
What was the money in it?
So it was in a camp, and it was an ordinary woman that delivered me into this world. She was Mrs. O'Reilly from Abbeynockmay, but what her maiden name at that time was, I don't know. So she was one day, I never knew it until one day I was doing the chimney for her, and she says, well, you know, Eddie, she says, I attended a birth, she said, and delivered a baby, naming the place, and I knew it there and then who she was talking about, but I was too embarrassed to tell her that it was I with the baby she delivered. But I'm sorry to say that she passed away, it's actually nearly 50 years now passed away, but she never knew who I were, although I was all the time coming into her. So at that period of time, I used to spend a lot of my time around Abbey there, Donahoo's and Senate's and all of those. Of course, I was being such a tinsmith that nearly everybody had great respect for me, and I'd be left where others wouldn't. I could stay longer, and that was on account of the shortage of tin, such as frying pans or anything like that. We used to make bottom frying pans. But on the average, the people were very good, you know. It always, money didn't matter that much to us, because so long as you had enough to eat, that's only all that counted. So, that's only all that counted. Well, in the evenings when we'd end up around the fire, we'd be telling stories, and mostly fairy stories, and more times we start, if there was any bit of a scholar at all in it, he'd start bringing out letters on the ashes, you know, the ashes around the fire, and you'd copy then. That's how the most of the travellers learned to write their own name in capital letters.
Through the ashes of the fire?
Through the ashes. And, well, they could have a game of quaits in the day, and when they get tired of that, they take their dog, or their pair of dogs, and they go off looking for a hare or a rabbit. Well, it wasn't sport, it was to fill the pot, so they'd have a good dinner the following day. Well, they didn't do that. If there was a good river, they'd go fishing. A couple of lads would go off fishing. Well, generally every Sunday was fishing day, and we'd all go off there, including, well, Big Jack was an awful man. Big Jack Ward that lived here in June. He was an awful man for hunting, you know, and I can give an instance of it. He had a bitch, and her name was Bright. She was one of the best dogs that ever I saw. Well, we were out in Corndrum, that's halfway between here and Galway, and there was a big turlock. So we went out of a Sunday, and we went off, and there was a good crowd of us in it. So somebody spotted a hare in the forum, and they told Jack. They said, Jack, come on, let out Bright. So the next thing was that Bright, the hare got up, he was, and Bright, and they told him for the longest 10 minutes or 15, up and down, back and forward, but Bright caught the hare. Well, the hare could be nearly half a mile from where we were standing. But she used to always catch him by the back of the neck and bring him back to Jack. But on the way back, another hare hopped up from under her. Now it's hard to believe it. She dropped the hare that was in her mouth and went after the other hare and killed the other hare. But the hare she dropped from her mouth got away because she never used to bruise a hare, you know.
Just pick
It
up.
was Jack himself that used to kill the hares when you come back. Bride was never known to kill a hare. Now you can ask any of Jack's sons that today and they'll tell you.
So he was done out of a hare. You only got one.
Oh yes. But I don't know whatever became of the dog, but that was the best dog of a hound that any of the travellers ever owned it. So, now mostly times we'd be maybe swapping out horses, and the price of a horse that time was £7 or £8 or £10. You give £10 for a horse, and you'd expect to get a good horse for £10, you know. But you had a now last to get for a half a crown or 5 shillings. But that was our life. And even today that I'm settling in a community for 25 years, I'm still on the side of the road. Now if you happen to come maybe in a month's time, you'll see out there at the far end of the garden there's wattles. They make into a camp. And as soon as the weather takes up, I intend to pair them wattles and sink a camp out there for the benefit of the younger generation of the travellers to see where their fathers and mothers were born in. Because in those days there was no such thing as maternity hospitals. They never went to hospital to have a baby. It was they were always delivered on the side of the road, and it was only just probably the midwife. And if the midwife wasn't there, there was some very handy woman, as we used to call them, a handy woman, that had delivered the baby.
She'd be a farmer's wife.
Well, if it was a farmer's wife that knew all about it, they might run up to the house and she'd come down. So they were very considerate like that, you know. But today it's all different.
You reckon, from your side of it now, you reckon that the walls become your wattle and your tent all the time?
Mm.
You know what I mean? You're still living in a tent like, except...
Oh, yeah.
Now you at the moment, you see yourself more... I know you got more comfort in the house and all that, but would you still, if you had a choice this minute, like, would you...
Well, I meant to say, I'm in the house that little time and my family are house now. But really and truly for the summer I'd love to take off and go back Connemara or go to Clare. But you see, you cannot do that today because nearly all the traditional campgrounds that we had in those days, they're all cut in now. Improvement again, the roads are widened. It was in narrow roads we used to stay in, but there would be a big grass margin and you could put down your camp. And well, all this is done away with. Now, at that period of time, we might have 2 or 3 horses, maybe 4 or 5 asses. And in 1940 and up to 45, there was no motor cars in Ireland because of the war. The war was on. And the grass margins all over the country were overgrown. And you just let down the horse down the road, you weren't afraid that he'd get killed or anything like that. There was no motor cars at all. The only thing that was going was the bicycle, and some of them had to have solid tires. You could get no tubes or anything like that. So it was nearly always, any chap you'd go to, you'd get always ponies and traps, but you'd never get a motor car of any description.
No motor car whatsoever. How about motorbikes?
No motorbikes, oh gosh no. No. It was very rare you'd see a motorbike, and if you did see a motorbike, it would be one about, that was made in the 20s, such as what was used with the army in 1922, the big heavy motorbikes. But there was no such thing as a modern motorbike as we know it today.
Although donkeys, asses, or horses now like. If you had a donkey you were wealthy, but if you had a horse you were very, very wealthy. And yet the donkey still do as much work as the
Well,
horse.
yes. Yes. Oh, yes. But you know, I'm grateful to the Almighty God to live so long. I never had sickness or anything like that, you know.
That's right.
So that is the chief thing in life. And to see that the family got on, and the more funnier thing about it is that I'm home where my father, on this road, Clonto Road, my father was born in 1880. And he was baptized here below in the cathedral. And when he went away in 1927, to be exact, and he went to live in Galway. But he never came back to Chum to live.
Like that. But she was never never kept it. But she was quite quieter and even quiet. He's a one that really kept it. She's quite sentimental, good time. Is that even friend or something? No, no, friend. They had one of us coming later out this summer and she not trying to bring me over the yard. None of them said.
The water stars those ones here.
What? Come on.
On lads, keep moving or wherever you're putting her.
Come on, up. Come up here. Maybe hear the video, will ya? came and came in past there. And struck the 2 inches there out of late tonight, very late. And struck into a big rock. There was a rock there that time. It was that height. There was a rock that saved the kid. I'd say that's pieces over there now. You see that rock? Yeah, he broke the rock and everything. No, this following day. And he was there at that ash tree for about 3 years after I seen him now. Before he left it. And he went from that straight into the house he's in now. That was the last camp he ever camped. Tom all came that side, and I came here this side, just beside us. And I never forget it, I had 2 year olds. Martin had one, he was only small like me. He had 1 year. And I had an old Janet. And I camped here beside the paddy, I was here for them. That big down in Bridget, that's where the first house was from. He was just staying out at that time. He was staying in that place now. And he got sick and he went for the doctor, Tom, first. He didn't matter what for the doctor for him. But the following day he wasn't going for the doctor for him. The porter. He was going off. I never would forget it. That's years ago now. But let's see. What age was it? What many years? It could be 25, I say, from 25 to 27 years ago. I'd say. Of it and more. Go and be a rough guest now, like. And I left that thing again. I parted them there in a few. Old Mike Mongan died in the lot of us. And that's where we were at the time of the funeral. I never would forget it. I went to the funeral there and we were Lord Mickey Ward's the kid. Johnny Lox's. Johnny was staying in the house. And I got the Corkins and some of the hostess and all, a few of the boys started arguing. But I got a blow of a stone in it with. From Pat Corkin's son, Peggy. Did you ever see the mark there in the forest?
Yeah, you can see there.
See there? And I was knocked out for a long time. I'd be stitched. And I left that thing, but after the funeral was over, all the man was abroad in the God Road, they were thinking for ages. Night, day it was to have battles run out. Then the man now and Michael man and geez, man, that was not crowded. And we changed from here, I changed from there over to the Gall Road. And I think Tom Moore changed over, he did after me. And what was that then we left it. I left that and I parted them there. I had my tools at last, I had a bit to do with bottom of the camera, Kittle, Christy. Tom Moore said, I was a wild young lad at the time. He got taking all the oaks out of tin whistles and everything, and when he be throwing your tools, he might throw them into the bucket. And you'll never see sight of them again. But I left it at that tree, I never forget it. And here above this tree, you see this tree? That's probably the lot of us were saying. You see, I'd swear my Bible out at the back of the fire there, like down in the ground, the whole be in it. And over there, Tom Ward was there. You see over there? The shore cut in beside us now. That's where he was staying the lot of us in. In that very ground there. And we got sick there the lot of us, I never would forget it. He had the doctor for it.
Old Tom Ward lived.
Yeah, and you see all them shores, you'd have to cut them shores that time. Had the road, when you get a shower of rain, the water come down this road like a river. And the minute it comes to them shores, you see it running off the roads. In beside you, we didn't ever flood out of it.
Yeah.
Pushed out of it. And here then Paddy was there the lot of us with this side here. Fire. Yes, down in that now, that was the fire was. And that's what I never would forget it, into that tree. And that was all college land back there, but it wasn't green land like that time. Very rough and old straw, you know. Big old grass in it. The other travellers will stay up along here, but a few things came off the walls, but there's enough food set up here now. I don't know. So we see, that's you fellas married now, they weren't married at that time. So I don't know who else now stood up along here. They're dug in places here above in the side of the road. And the old ditch, the old man was old, and what they call him? Mullins, the last of him is dead now, and his sister died too. He made Mullins alone.
He started digging drains on the inside of him.
Huh?
He started digging drains at the time.
That's right, he owned that old field. And they want to know when staying. But he was there the last of him. So the land is there after him now. See, that's the way it goes. The one of the places is was cut up that time. They cut up, but they didn't want you to stay out of the ditch. And that ditch now, so it was nothing they could do there, look.
No. Outside the bushes.
All outside the bushes. So it's for shelter, you'd more or less come here, they said, or down here. So if you didn't, you wouldn't... I never would forget it now. We all old cats pulled us along there. You have an old horse. You have an old horse you'd have to tie up here. Don't be near to the big. And you would tie them there that way. The family didn't know that land that way. The college knew the road and all that. They don't have a lot of Muslim sort. It was no other one to camping here. I was camping alone. Tom Ward was over there, past the road. And up here now, it was like the head of the corner, you know, Mary could maybe remember. You see them places. Some farmers came to us and they cut them places out. They put them out for the wagon. No, they see how they made it so little for tins. That was all a dike like that over there. And they keep digging that to flatten it out, all up along. You see? There.
How many wagons in caravans?
It was hell of no wagons.
For how many
All
tins?
tins. It would be 10 or 12 maybe, down along here. Then they'd be up there above the side of where Anthony is.
That's right, the old boring they used to be in there.
Yeah, and up here on the side of the road, to be, and there above Anthony's, to be few. Down along now where the trailers, no the trailers, side of it, all down along there, you see a tint stuff there in the ditch.
I remember the piper living up from Edwards.
He was, and I was there for the work on Edwards. Between Anthony's and Edwards, there was such blend. I was there, Ned was in this, Edwards Ned, that was the best man. What? He was telling the date. Oh, jeez, I couldn't have children. Oh, stop and the cars come on. And there was flying. I was very sure doctor. Oh, you were all right, maybe the doctor. The doctors wouldn't bad at him, they come to you. But there were no medical cars going that time. Oh, you had no medical cars. The first medical car ever I got was with Dr. Coleman in Abbey. And to tell you now that times changed for we had Dr. Coleman, and he used to come here to us, come out the Gall Road there to us. Anywhere, to come anywhere to you that time, a doctor. There was no such thing as...
That was the doctor from Hedford?
No, Abbey.
Abbey.
They had no special place at all that time, you know, area. Now the doctor only goes to his own district. But
What about the doctor in Children here?
But you see, we used to be staying out around Abbey, you understand?
Oh, he knew it?
Yes. And the first medical card that I got, I give it to him. And if I'm not mistaken, he'd have one yet belonged to us. So we got 2 medical cards that time in a mistake, and I gave the 2 to him. And no matter where you'd be, all you had to do was ring him up 2 mile of Bath and Rye, which then now place there Cam Tubber. And we used to ring him for that, and each other would see, come there. Oh, there was a Ugandese man with Dr. there with it. Dr. Coleman. Aye.
Oi.
How are you? Ah, he was grand. There was no such thing as saying I won't go or I can't go, get a different doctor. We should ring him, we will land it there. I never forget it. Our Ellen now, she was a small, very small. Merton was making tea over there, the Gall Road. And they were giving out the partner or a mug up for some tea. And they found it down there in our head. Burnt all the bad, all of that thing. I had to go to that in the heat. Without the phone, Horse and cat. Oh, an old horse and cat, yeah. I never would forget it, he said. It was a couple of months after the tattoo we did. What did you do one did, Larry? No, that's one man. And then there was another man that was picking up a passport and the water go in her hand. The bottom of her hand. He said, who done that? I done it. I knew well, he said, that you couldn't miss. You go me, yeah. And that's what you were like me.
How'd you go me?
He said, you go me. I said, what had happened? I was handing out the passports, I said, water and all out there for them to strain them. I said, out over her hand in the soup, but down top of her hand. Oh, from that, out to the water. And he never left an arm.
You didn't the whole lot, you wouldn't have to pay him anything.
No, you don't pay nothing. No. But even before that, like, you had a free doctor. Before of the medical care, you had a free doctor. There was a great doctor in Tulloch. all around there.
Oh no.
My father's father told me, he in turn told me, about the time they worked the land in another century. The potatoes rotted in the drills, they couldn't pay the rent. The bailiffs came and wrecked their home, to the highways they were sent. We were leaves in the wind, we were scattered down the roads. We were leaves in the wind, we built the food sometimes in stone. The women walked byways and took back what they could bring. The men found skill in their fingertips, made a living out of tin. We were leaves in the wind, we watched the trees grow bare. We were leaves in the wind, we shoot the frost out of our hair. Their eyes were
Never mind what you say, listen to me. When you were born in Joe, and you weren't born in a house like you were born in, you lived in a tent after you were born like.
Or in the tent. Caravan, can't say.
Caravan. Where were you camping?
Birmingham.
Birmingham Road.
Grand.
And how would you go from, you know, you go from house to house and you in the bit of grove and all that. What would you do when you were going in the words of Kent now?
Gig.
Gig. You were going into gig, wouldn't you? And if you came out and you said that you in the house was no good, how would you say it to the other one? Say that when you say you had a.
She don't much good.
The last one.
Much good.
How about pudding bags? What would you keep it in the pudding bags? Or the pocket?
Pocket. Bags or something like that.
Nobody, there wasn't much bags on there. How long would a packet of bags with you?
20 bags enough to me, you know that.
What years ago, like, how long was a packet of bags with you?
Yeah, see when I'm on the smoke, in the hand of a bag. Bags scarce of that. Rationed.
But the people had more nature in it.
Had more nature.
And how far did you ever go for potatoes, say, from the campsite? What would you have?
I never went there. I don't go to much or anything.
You were never much good about much.
No.
And how would you travel? The ass and cart? Horse and cart.
I had that much to say. He had a horse and cart with me on the doctors.
A horse and cart.
Pauline cart.